Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
It's time for another peripatetic, look it up, edition of Thirsty Thursdays, Sense and Nonsense. This is certainly a special occasion, obviously, because Joe has actually taped notes and fact-checked notes that he printed out. It's just amazing. He usually has a little notebook, and he's got a lot. He's got a lot of stuff there. So we can look forward to a lusty edition of this particular event. Hacker Shore? Is that how you pronounce that? Pashore? Hacker Pashore?
That's a good question. I don't know exactly how to pronounce that.
You don't appear on the introduction. You be quiet.
Who are you talking to?
You be quiet. So anyway, I'll revisit what beer this is when we come back as we get our happy hour started a little bit. And we, of course, go all around the map. We talk about beer. We talk about life. We talk about sports sometimes. And then we just see where the fact check takes us generally is a big part of what we do as well. And I know you like it. I know I like it. I know Joe likes it. So let's all like it together coming up next. It's time now to get some great assistance on healthcare with Chad Beisel from no-nonsense-healthcareninja.com. And Chad, even your business's name would indicate that you have a real aggressive way and an important way to go after some health insurance for your clients.
What I've found out in the industry is just a lot of people are really confused. They don't know what plans are good, what their plans offer, how they cover. And so I've just taken the approach of being really educated on what options are available to clients and showing them all the options that are available and making sure they understand them so they can pick and choose what options are good for them.
And one thing that's really important, of course, is access to doctors and hospitals.
Absolutely. That's become a big issue for a lot of people. Some of the plans out there are going to restrict those clients to where they can and cannot go. So if you live just outside the Kansas City metro, some of the counties outside, you may not be able to go to some of the hospitals up here in the Kansas City area. So making sure that you have a plan that's got doctors and hospitals and places you want to go is really, really important today.
Learn more by visiting no-nonsense-healthcareninja.com and let Chad help you. Cinematic Visions has been an affordable solution for professional media production in Kansas City since 2003, offering award-winning video production and creation, as well as a wide array of digital and social media management services. From planning, scripting, filming, editing, and post-production, to delivering your product to a watching world, Cinematic Visions will provide professional and affordable services for you and your business with the necessary return on investment to make it all worthwhile. Cinematic Vision's goal is to unlock the power of storytelling through video and a strong online presence for your company. Beyond the numbers, they want to inspire and evoke your clients to feel and act. Let my friends at Cinematic Visions embed your brand where it belongs, in your customers' minds. You can find them online at cinematicvisions.com or with a quick phone call at 816-600-6300. I'm here with Tim Emerson, the owner of Emerson & Company. And Tim, give us an idea of the range of services that you provide from Emerson & Company.
At Emerson & Company, we do credit card processing, payroll services. We do bookkeeping, merchant accounts like point-of-sale systems.
What would you say differentiates you from other companies in the field, and what makes you special?
I think what makes us unique is that we're a small local business making regional decisions on companies. We create a profile for the business and then put it out to our different vendors in a very competitive environment and tailor those needs to the specific business, which usually ends up in a great fit or great result for the company.
And, of course, the idea is to save money, right?
Save money, and actually sometimes I'm surprised where actually a solution that may cost a little bit more ultimately does save money, but we're not conditioned to think like that sometimes.
Emerson & Company. Check them out at emerson-co.com or call them at 816-360-9092.
If you'd like to join these and other great sponsors and market your business to a growing and engaged audience, contact us at danny@dannyclinkscale.com. Look forward to hearing from you.
All right, Danny, we're back. You want to jump right into the fact check, or you want to talk about this?
Well, I don't recognize this wonderful Oktoberfest Marzen. It Hacker. Do you pronounce the P?
I don't think so.
I would say Hacker Shore. And anyway, it is that what's the company? Do we know here?
I don't know. I
Let
found
me,
it. It's
I,
very
and
good.
I have not tasted it yet. Here it'll be on the air tasting. Here we go.
Always closes his eyes. It's a little awkward.
Good. Very good. A little malty.
Yeah.
A little bit malty.
It's not crisp, not quite crisp enough, but it is a winter beer, so.
But not in a bad way. Sort of doesn't really taste like an Oktoberfest.
Have you ever been described as malty?
Salty. I don't think malty. Moldy, maybe.
Well, we have an extensive fact check.
Yeah, we better get to it.
Our last edition was full of a lot of facts that we thought were facts.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to take a bit of a pounding here later on some things that I thought were true. Okay, we're going to start with those.
I'll preface this by saying we've generally, with our musings, been pretty good.
Yeah, and there's a little mental gymnastics I went through here later to show that I'm not totally wrong, which I think you'll enjoy.
Yes, I would figure that would be the case.
All right, so you told the story last time about all your beers falling out of your plastic six-pack holders. Those are called yolks. Did you know that?
No, I did not. I did not know it had an official name.
Yeah, and the original design was designed in St. Louis, Missouri in the summer of 1960. Okay, and it only took about 10 years for them to become, ubiquitous.
Standard issue.
Yeah. And then, they became a huge problem for marine life, right?
Right.
And so then recently they've come out with these ones that you don't like, these thick plastic ones like you get on a Prost.
They're just a pain in the ass to get the beers out of them, that's all.
But did you know they're reusable?
What?
Yes, you can snap 6 beers in there if you need to, go for a walk or something.
Not that you've ever thought about
Never, ever thought of that. That's so I thought that was pretty cool. They were reusable. They're also,
it definitely is. And it looks like a fancier thing, makes your canned beer look like it's a little more upscale. I agree with all that, but sometimes when you're reaching, what you should never do, I'll give you a tip.
Single hand
take
reach?
Take them out of the fridge. Take them out of the 6-pack when you put it in the fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Or you'll be likely knocking over potato salad or something. Yeah, you can't one-hand those things out of the 6-pack.
No, there's no one hand in those. They're also 100% recyclable, which is,
that's
the other reason they're good, right?
That's a very good thing.
Anyway, I thought that was interesting.
The yolk.
Oh, this one is great. So we tried some Prost last time on the podcast, and I had said I thought maybe it was Czechoslovakian, and you had said it was German, right? Because it said drink beer like a German.
Right.
It's a Colorado craft beer.
Of course it is.
But they're just like Beer Co. here in town, which is my favorite beer locally. They bring in all of their ingredients from Germany and do the brewing just exactly like they would in Germany. So that's why it's so delicious.
Well, it was certainly delicious. There's no doubt about that.
More of that upstairs if you're interested. Bourbon. We talked a little bit about bourbon last time. Here's the 5 rules, Danny. Are you ready for this?
It does ring a bell now that there are 5 rules of bourbon.
You're going to want this at a cocktail party so you can, talk
Wow
down
them.
to somebody and wow them with this.
Well, that would be nothing new.
The first thing is it must be made in the United States. Okay? Doesn't have to be made in Kentucky, but it's got to be made in the United States, America. So that's 1. 2, the aging must take place in a new charred oak barrel. Okay? It can be, it's got to be aged for at least 2 years to be considered straight bourbon.
Okay.
Okay? The third thing is the mash, like the grain they use, needs to be at least 51% corn.
Corn liquor.
Sweet corn liquor. There's a great Steel Drivers song called Corn Liquor. The whiskey cannot enter the barrel at higher than 125 proof. And it can't enter the bottle at less than 80 proof, right? So
it loses 45 proof?
They mix it with water when
right,
it comes out.
Right,
so that way you can get more bang for your buck out of the barrel when you're aging it, right?
Right.
And so single barrel bourbon, a lot of times it'll be a higher alcohol content. And one of the reasons is, they want to be able to get more bang for their buck. So they'll make it 96 or whatever because it comes out like it goes in.
Uh-huh.
Anyway. Now, fifth and final fact is nothing can be added except for water. So, like you asked if wild turkey was bourbon, and I said sometimes it is, and that's because they'll make like wild turkey honey, and they put crap in it.
Right.
Then it's not bourbon anymore.
Uh-huh.
All right. So now you've been
Bourbonized. And in tomorrow's Kansas City Profiles presented by Easton Roofing, I actually have a story about a man who credits the Chiefs with saving his life after having a stroke.
Too many bourbons?
At the game. No, he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink, and he's the sheriff of Bourbon County, Kansas, where Fort Scott, Kansas is. So there you go. There's
I've spent some time in Fort Scott. It's
I
a
have too.
beautiful town.
I did a basketball tournament there once, I remember, with my first wife. Remember all night the train whistles going off, which is a very romantic sound, actually.
I was in a house there one time, and it was an antebellum home, and the walls were 12 inches thick. They were built to withstand cannon fire because it was pre-Civil War. Isn't that wild? Yeah.
Hence Fort Scott.
Fort Scott. That's right. Okay, we talked about Todd Reesing. This may be our new Wilt. Okay, this is the third in a row.
Well, he is the last quarterback that Kansas has had. So
I started wondering, I wonder what Todd Reesing's up to now. I thought it would be more interesting, but he's the vice president at Dimensional Fund Advisors in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, I knew that he was a financial guy. I think he went to Wall Street right after college.
Well, good for him. Turn that celebrity into something down there in Austin, right?
And I'm telling you what, that dude wasn't even 5'9". I mean, I covered the team then, and I'm 5'11"-ish, maybe a little shorter.
I think you shrunk a bit.
And he was, maybe I hadn't shrunk by then. And he was significantly shorter than I was. Yes.
Yeah, he was a good quarterback. We talked about the name Edna.
Right.
Okay. So, which I love the name. Edna is an Old Testament name, and in Hebrew it means pleasure.
Nothing says pleasure like Edna. Welcome to the stage, Edna. Never hear that. You never heard that, have you?
Oh, that's
Welcome
great.
to the main stage, the fabulous Edna.
So that got me to thinking about other old-timey names that people name their kids, and I looked up the top 20 or the top 10 girl names in 2020. Luna, Maeve, Aurora, Olivia, Isla,
Aurora,
Ava, Ophelia, Eleanor, Eloise, and Aurelia. Those are the top. You're going to turn on the network news in 25 years, and they're going to be like, please, the Network 9 News with Aurora Smith.
I think I may have mentioned this on the podcast before. Twice within a week, I was in the 119th area, so this woman clearly must live in that area. And she was driving down the street in a relatively, like a Buick type of car, big one,
Yeah.
And she had a vanity license plate with her name on it. So clearly she was proud of her name.
Super.
Which was Latrina. I hope she was unaware. I certainly hope her parents were unaware.
Oh, my gosh. That's
But anyway, Latrina was behind the wheel.
And then the biggest jumps in girl names, the next 10, you're going to love some of these. Kiara, Nova, Ayla, Zara, Athena, Cordelia, Florence, and Anastasia.
Florence?
Anastasia?
Now, that's an old-timey one.
Doesn't get any old. So I told you, dude, these names are coming back. Edna's coming back.
I don't know about Edna. Okay. I'm sure many of the people in the audience are just going to go, duh, I knew that. But I heard this for the first time today. Did you know that what Kanye West's his son's name is?
Isn't it South or something like that?
North,
that's right.
I mean, come on. My mom went to school with the kid. Now, I mean, this is just child abuse.
Okay.
Nut is not that uncommon a last name. It isn't, especially in the South. I mean, Houston Nutt, we know in the sports world, best coach, football coach, and I think there's a nut who's a basketball coach. Anyway, my mom went to school. Kid's name was Ima.
Boy or girl?
Boy. Ima Nut.
No.
Yes.
On purpose.
Yeah, it wasn't a nickname. It was his name.
Wow, that should be.
Let's go down the row and see what you're. My mom's name was Mary Guest. Mary Guest. I'm a nut. Gosh.
That's criminal.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I
mean, that's the thing. The name is not for you.
Yeah.
It's for the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not entertainment. This is not, it's like the Washington Redskins and whatever. This is not about you. It's about the person you're naming. Think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about it.
I can think of
Northwest.
some other names to put in front of nut. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Okay, time for me to take some comeuppance here.
All right. Slap you around verbally.
The Wizard of Oz came out in 1939.
Well, I knew what folly this was.
It was first on television in 1956. Okay? So.
Maybe a little earlier than I thought.
All right.
All right.
But now let's say that is what it is. Let's talk about it when TV was invented.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you said it was like the 50s or 60s before it really took off. Listen, television as we know it was invented in 1925, okay? And it happened by a few different people in multiple countries. There was Americans, there was Germans, there was a guy in the Netherlands. But in 1928, WRGB, then W2XB, was started as the world's first television station. And it broadcasted in New York. So this is 28, okay?
Right.
So if there's a TV station, there had to be TVs to broadcast to. Oh, I love the smile on your face right now. Okay, now listen to this. In 1931, NBC installed a transmitter on the top of the Empire State Building. Okay, that's 1931 for television, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And in 1932...
If a tree falls in the forest...
in 1932, the U.S. Federal Radio Commission granted an operating license to Kansas State University in Manhattan, Kansas for the television station W9XAK. And that's 32
So
in
those
Manhattan.
All right, but did you research when people actually really started watching television?
Okay, so when I ran out of time, I was looking up viewership statistics, right, to try to figure out, when people really started watching TV. And from what I could tell, it looked like it was around the early 40s.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Not in significant numbers.
They said that it wasn't until the 50s, the early 50s, that it was enough to move public opinion or whatever, right? But that there were televisions in the 40s. Danny, I'm going to look it up even harder next time.
You better.
I'm going to bring you
better.
some...
Well, let's put it this way. Radio was still more popular than television until about 1955.
I will give you that.
Yeah.
I will concede that now.
So anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right. So,
I want
we can
more
just say
facts.
that we're both right all the time. Whatever.
Exactly. Well, we often do.
You always talk about the 1939 Oscars, so I looked up the movies. Okay.
Yes.
And this isn't necessarily all the best pictures, but just some of the movies. And you're right, dude. Gone with the Wind, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Mm-hmm. What were the other ones I knew? Stagecoach, The Wizard of Oz, The Rains Came, Of Mice and Men.
I know.
I mean, and that's just the ones I know, and I don't like old movies.
Right.
I mean, what a year.
And
huh?
1940 was every bit as good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. They're fantastic movies.
We talked about Austin and what maybe happened with COVID there because everything was shut down. So I was going to look up. I ran out of time. I was going to look up what happened, but I do know that currently
How's
I saw
that beer
in the news,
going down? You got
It's
the
going
burps
down.
there,
It's a little
buddy.
burpy. I
Yeah,
got to be honest with you.
I think the listeners know that by now. I think they can
I
tell.
can't help it. It's the Hacker Shore.
It hasn't made me burpy, but I'm not burpy in general.
Well, I did have a
Something.
large Americano right before we started this, so
Well, there you go.
I'm moving a little bit. But in Austin, COVID is up 50% in the last week, like week over week.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's like raging right now. And, my dad's little small town, he lives in Barber County. everybody's got COVID. And in my little hometown, way back in central Kansas, a good friend of mine's uncle died. So it's like, it's crazy, man. Like, everybody kind of let down, and it is just back.
Oh, and even the places where they, really hunkered down and did well, and Italy after the horrendous thing, but it's coming back. Because people got, I understand the weariness, but what I've always said is, geez, I mean, as nations, we went through 4 or 5 year, 8 year, 10-year wars where you had to quarantine and eat lard instead of butter. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I've got
toughen up
ration stickers. Yeah, on 60 Minutes last weekend, they were like, people are having mitigation fatigue. I'm like, I get it. I have mitigation fatigue too, but like, everybody just needs to. I don't know, man. Nobody wants to hear about COVID on this podcast.
Mitigation.
Like, they're tired of mitigation. Like, they're tired of masks. They're tired of staying away from other people. They're tired of the mitigation. You know what I mean? Yes. Measures.
Right. I got you.
You know what I mean? Okay, so anyway, that's enough COVID. That's all I talk about. Hams. Let's talk about hams, right?
Oh, I've had a hams since the last time we spoke.
God damn right you have. This is so great. You're going to love this, dude. Okay.
Tell me they changed the formula.
So I looked and looked and looked. Couldn't find that anywhere. Okay. They had to have, though. Okay.
They had to have.
Because in 2018, Hams took the bronze in the American-style lager at the World Beer Cup. Okay. In 2017,
back in the day,
in 2017, a group of craft brewers tabbed Hams as the best macro beer in a blind taste test. So that would be, macro beer being,
right, yeah,
Bud Light, Budweiser.
I'll now vouch for that. I just know how crappy it tasted back in the day, and I don't think I've changed that much.
It's unreal how good
I'm going to say it's, gourmet beer or anything, but it's all right.
No, and it's so
right.
And it's so cheap.
It is.
That's my favorite part about it.
It is cheap. It's even, you know what? It's the only. Somebody's going to have to explain to me sometime the unbelievable variance in beer prices in Missouri and Kansas. What they're going to say is taxes. Okay.
Okay.
But no. I drive down state line to do this podcast, okay?
Yeah.
And there's a quick trip on said side, so I told you that occasionally I'll buy some stones.
Yeah.
Some
stone ice.
Some stone ice. So that goes for $3.99, okay?
$3.99.
$3.99 for 16-ounce six-pack.
Okay.
I live in Shawnee. In the liquor store near my home, $7.49.
No.
Yes. And the hams, what I'm getting to is the hams is the only beer in there that you would even consider like a bargain.
Okay.
$4.99 for the 16-ounce talls.
Well, there's no hipsters in your neighborhood, obviously.
No what?
Hipsters. They're the only ones buying the hams.
I guess. I don't know.
Hey, I live here in the Golden Triangle here in the village. Listen, we got 11% sales tax in this mug, so it's like, yeah, it does make a difference.
It does, but there's something else. It's almost
difference.
Double.
Yeah,
it's almost double the price. But anyway,
okay. So
good thing this is called Thirsty Thursdays because we talk a lot about beer on this.
Damn straight. When we talked about doing this, I knew there'd be some beer talk.
Beer people out there, this is your spot for sponsorship right here.
That's
right. Here. Come on in.
I love me some beer co-beer, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, we both talked about the fact we can dabble in the hams and the stones, but what we really want is the Hacker Shore October Meissen. But sometimes you got to think economy a little.
You got to think economy. So the last thing I was going to do is I was going to compare Kevin Bacon and Kurt Russell's
career,
their filmography.
Right. Well, the difference here would be Kurt Russell has generally remained a leading man or close to it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Well, I printed off these, and as you can see,
they both have working actors.
There's a lot of movies here. And in my advanced age and in the light down here, I can't read them. So I probably should have made these bigger. So the comparison in movies are going to be tough. But there were a few on here that I did not realize that Kevin Bacon was in that were great.
Oh,
right?
He was in Apollo 13. And
Yeah, you said Apollo 13, but I'd forgot about JFK.
He was in The Departed.
I'd forgot about The Departed. I'd forgot about, let's see here. Where was it? Man, he's in some good ones. And so, I'm going to take back a little bit of my scoffing.
Yeah, because
Kevin Bacon?
He made a conscious decision. He could have gone on making, somewhat schlocky. He could have been, what am I thinking? Keanu Reeves.
Oh, I love me some Keanu Reeves. So listen, just to be fair, I do like good movies, but I really, really do like terrible movies. Like, I really like bad movies, okay? So let's just talk about some Kurt Russell. Escape from L.A., Stargate, okay? I mean, these are some good... These are some quality films, Danny.
Well, some of these movies are I don't mind a good mainstream sort of just half-hearted effort. But Kevin Bacon has, as a character actor, really been pretty top drawer.
So anyway, that concludes our fact check. I think what we learned today in the fact check,
if anything,
is that we're both right.
We're both. Yeah, you bet. You got to do some more TV research.
Yeah, I hear you.
You're clinging to that. Those 12 rich people who were watching TV in 1940. Have you ever seen any documentary or movie set like in World War II America or whatever? Back at the home front, where anyone was watching television.
No, but that doesn't mean anything. Come on, that's just the portrayal of back then.
Of course, it doesn't. Anyway,
look, I'm going to find those TV viewer statistics wherever I have to go.
There you go. To the ends of the earth.
To the ends of the earth.
I don't know what Joe's got coming up next, but that's always a surprise. We'll see what we throw at you. We'll see if you're going to be throwing stuff at your phone or throwing your phone or your computer. Coming up next, and we'll see what's next on the menu as far as beer is concerned. That's always important here on Thirsty Thursday. Sense and plenty of nonsense right here.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
It's time to visit once again with Dr. Brad Woodle of Advanced Sports and Family Chiropractic and Acupuncture. And Dr. Brad, your group has reached a significant milestone in receiving a prestigious award.
Danny, we've been honored for the 10th year in a row to receive the 5-Star Service Award from Integrity Doctors. And what this means is that all of our offices throughout Kansas City have made sure to give people excellent chiropractic and acupuncture care, be on time, and do a very complete and thorough job, and have great responses back from patients.
I know firsthand because I was just treated, for instance, today by you. You have a wide range of fantastic services.
Absolutely. Chiropractic, acupuncture, physiotherapies, rehab, anything that you need to keep you well in bones, muscles, joints, and nerves.
And I can't say how much it's benefited me in the time I've coming here. Upwards of 2 years, my back has improved 100%. And you can have that same kind of treatment too. For more information and your chance for a healthier way of life, visit asfca.com/Danny today.
Hi, everybody. This is Matt Llewellyn from 23rd Street Brewery in Lawrence. I just want to thank everybody for supporting local restaurants during this time of uncertainty. 23rd Street Brewery is now open until this pandemic is over. And right now, more than anything, local restaurants need your help and support. Come on out and see us. 23rd Street Brewery is open now from 11:30 till 9 o'clock for dine-in and carry-out. Whatever we can do to help you out, maybe with your catering needs, too. I appreciate all the support, and thank you for continuing to shop local.
Most of us have experienced auto accidents, and it's no fun. And even less fun is trying to work on the insurance aspects afterwards and getting full value after an auto accident. I'm here with David Cowan from RecExpert.com. And David, you have an unusual and important niche for people after an auto accident.
We have a passion to teach car wreck clients what they deserve. Getting your car repaired only fixes the damage and the paint. Getting paid for your car's loss in value is called diminished value. Chances are you've never heard of this before because most people aren't looking out for you. We help people collect thousands to tens of thousands of dollars for their car's loss in value after the wreck.
And if somebody wants to come to you for that, what's the original assessment cost them?
We offer a free review of any insurance claim to see how we can help.
You can't beat that. Great expertise and assistance in getting full value after an auto accident from David Cowan. Visit RecExpert.com and learn more. Firsthand, I have enjoyed the benefits of the CBD products from Canaway. My back feels better and better these days, as a major part of my routine are the pain-relieving salve and the Pure Gold oil. And recently I had the pleasure of a treatment session using the Canaway CBD in conjunction with the Microlight 830 cold laser. The non-invasive treatment session worked wonders, and I could barely tell I was even being touched. TML 830 is the first 3B cold laser to get FDA approval, and in addition, the combination treatment with CBD is patent pending. The new smart laser is the only hands-free cold laser in the world and is used by athletic trainers, chiropractors, MDs, physical therapists, and veterinarians everywhere. You can learn more about all the great benefits from the complete line of Canaway CBD products by contacting my friend Sherry McCants at 515-208-6312. That's 515-208-6312 to get outstanding information about Canaway. If you'd like to join these and other great sponsors and market your business to a growing and engaged audience, contact us at Danny@DannyKlinkScale.com. Look forward to hearing from you. Welcome back, and for those of you who tune in to Thirsty Thursdays, Sense and Nonsense, or any of my podcasts, and know that, yes, the Reasonably Irreverent podcast and DannyKlinkScale.com is an eclectic space, but still, there's a lot of sports there, and somehow this Thirsty Thursdays has morphed into not so much sports.
You're welcome.
Which is fine. This is what we're thinking about, and we like to get away from sports every now and then, or a lot. But anyway, Joe, big Chiefs fan. Chiefs fans hunker down on Monday afternoon. Another excuse early in the work week to start some 3 o'clock drinking. Anyway, so the Chiefs go ground and pound to win. And we talked about this on my Danny and Stan's Football Weekend on Monday. Yeah, I'm sure I'll talk about it with Seren Petro and the fine segment Danny Unleashed, sponsored indeed by Easton Roofing on Friday. This is a mixed thing. It was great. I think for one night, Chiefs fans were like, yeah, look at Allegretti. He's pancaking fellas, whatever. But in the end, it showed the vagaries of playing football that way. Because as much as the Chiefs dominated the proceedings, if that was a fumble, the game was in the hat. And that's kind of what happens. You're not going to score as much. You're not going to get as many possessions. By the way, the Chiefs are last in the NFL in possessions?
Well, that makes sense. Everybody's trying to take the air out of the ball.
Exactly.
Well, that's okay. I'm going to let you finish, and then I get.
But so I think this was a nice one-off, but the Chiefs really should not want to play that way. They should not.
No, you're 100% right. They shouldn't want to. But what it brought to my mind was, I've gotten in plenty of fights about, or not fights, but arguments about Tom Brady or Bill Belichick, right? Which one was more important? And I promise this is about the Chiefs. And my argument is always, at the beginning of his career, it was Belichick. In the middle, it was Brady. At the end, it was Belichick. Okay, because it changed. And what they would do, what the Patriots would do throughout, is they would change the game plan.
Right, exactly.
And do what they needed to do to win the game that weekend, right?
And that has not been an Andy
It's not been an Andy Reid thing.
M.O.
He's trying to do the Roy Williams, we're gonna do the thing we do better than they do it, right? And then let the chips fall where they may. I think this shows like some maturity out of this offense, the willingness to do this, to gear it down. I also think it is like, okay, we didn't use up much at all in this game, because I'm with Petro where he's only got so many, bones in the bag, so let's not use them up. And I think you put those two things together with a defense that's not just awful, and you've got a way to, I don't need an undefeated season, right?
Right. Well, you've got a way to play here. And the other part to me is the fact that this was a particular, and this was Belichick-like. The Bills' defensive line stinks to the point where they benched 2 healthy rotation players and just stuck 2 guys in that they barely just had, or took them off the practice squad. So they took a defensive line that was bad, and McDermott was mad. He's like, "You guys, you're going to take a timeout."
Yeah,
and so
I don't know if we really learned that this offensive line can play bully ball against somebody who's good.
Oh, I don't think so.
But it did send the message out here, hey, look, the Chiefs can run the football. They can beat you doing this. But I want to get your reaction to this.
Yeah, you're just real quick.
Conversely, I think that a lot of teams looked at that and were like, they did all that and they got 27? That's below their average.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. They're not going to run us out doing that.
Well, and that's what I was getting ready to say is I think it shows you can't come out and just play, too high or, against us all day long and against us. I say us because whatever. I'm a season ticket holder.
You're on the
Eat
team.
it.
You're on the team.
Yeah. You can't come out and play too high all day long because they're just going to run the ball. Now, to your point, maybe they look at that and they say, well, our defensive line is better than that, and so we will play this way, right? I think that there is a danger there. But in the end, you've got, and it's such a cop-out, but in the end, you've got Patty Icicles, who's going, if you need to go make some plays, because I got the feeling, and maybe I'm wrong, that if there would have been if we'd have been behind in the third quarter, I'm not sure Andy Reid is so steady at the wheel.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
And I got a feeling he had 7 or 8 things in the bag that he's like, well.
Although I've never been a fan of, well, they were holding some stuff back.
No, I know. I think it's a cop-out, too.
Like
I do.
I don't
I
like
agree.
that. I think football coaches are too into winning the game today to really do much of that. Sure, maybe they'll save the Stanford band player, whatever the hell that was. Okay,
yeah.
I got you. Maybe they're just that's
Go
a one.
Pig Ride or
that's a
whatever the thing you hated.
One-off, and whatever. I get that, but in general, well, they were dumbing down because it's going to be so and so next week, and we can beat. I'm not.
But I don't think that's what it is.
I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of it. I'm saying I don't buy it.
Well, I think that it's less of saving some secret play and more of, we're just going to leave the tight end in or the running back in to block over and over and over and over and over again. And if we really needed to, we'd slip them out on a little play action, get ourselves 7 yards anytime we need it. So we got a 3rd and 6 we really
Travis
need.
Kelce played fullback a lot in the game the other day.
Well, yeah, and he had to, and he dropped a bunch of balls. I mean, they didn't even play that well. That's the other thing, man. That offense, yes, they ran the ball for 6.5 yards or whatever it was, a carry, but they did not. There was drop balls all over the place. You got Sammy Watkins on the bench. So I think the offense could do this and do it better. And this is with a patchwork offensive line. You got, what's his name, right guard, out.
Schwartz.
Yeah, Schwartz is out early on in the game.
And who had heard of the center? Did you know who he was?
No.
And I had his name all week, and it's
completely escaped me now.
It's got to be the Warsteiner right now because I don't remember his name either.
Yeah, this Allegretti guy. He looked
was
like
a draft choice. At least we.
Yeah,
knew
I know,
him,
but you know who
sort
he
of.
looked like out there? He looked like who's that dude that got in all that trouble? He was a Miami Dolphin offensive lineman, and he was like a
Richie Incognito.
Yes, he looked like Incognito out there, just murdering people.
This is Italian shaming right now. What you're doing. I am going to send somebody after you for these comments. All right, that's enough regular stuff.
All right.
Let's go to a real issue. I've heard this argued throughout the years. Your name on the back of an athletic jersey or not. Many people consider this a completely goofy thing.
Uh-huh.
I really don't.
What?
Now, I don't really don't wear athletic jerseys that much, but back in the day, I had a girlfriend who bought me a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey.
Okay.
Or sweater. It to me one of the most beautiful.
Yeah, great logo.
I'm not a Maple Leafs fan. I grew up in Boston. I have no affiliation with the Maple Leafs, but I love and she knew it.
Okay.
And she bought me a Maple Leaf. She drove to Buffalo, in fact, from like a 4-hour drive from Utica, New York. Now, this woman had some problems and ended up trying to kill me. But
okay, hold on.
But anyway, no, we're not going down that road. But twice. But anyway, she was a lovely girl, and I
Sounds like it.
had some issues, but that's all right. Anyway, that Maple Leafs jersey, which I still have. It's tattered and worn, and I used to wear it to.
Now, you said it's a sweater, and you said it's a jersey.
Well, that's what they call hockey.
Got it. So
hockey.
it's like 3/4 sleeve,
but
like
not,
baggy.
it's not really a game jersey, so it's they still call them sweaters. They're not sweaters now, but they call them that.
And was she a hairdresser?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she was
I just
very
assumed.
intelligent broadcaster who eventually became the news director of CBS Radio News in New York.
Holy moly!
Yeah, very talented person. But she brought me this Maple Leafs thing, and it said Clink Scale on the back, and I had no issue with it. None.
Okay.
Now, maybe it was different because I'm not a Maple Leafs fan.
Okay.
But I don't really...
How old were you?
I was 30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But I used to wear that jersey, sweater, to when they'd have the exhibition games in Kansas City. And that was what
interesting.
I had. Yeah, because I'm a Bruins fan. I grew up in. It's the only Boston team I really still do root for is the Bruins. But
okay.
So anyway, now having said that, and your look of surprise that I am not anti Clink Scale on the back of a Maple Leafs jersey.
All right. Listen, when I was younger, like early college aged, I desperately wanted a Chiefs jersey with my last name on the back. Okay. I thought it was the coolest thing ever, but it was so expensive. It was like $120 or something, right? By the time I could afford it, no dice. I'm not doing that. Are you kidding me? No way.
All right, so...
First of all, I'm not wearing a jersey. Secondly...
So just a number or some player's number?
The last jersey I bought was a relatively... heavily intoxicated purchase at a Chiefs game.
Mm-hmm. If it's Sean LaChapelle.
No, it was Brandon Flowers. His rookie year.
Well, just see, you were foreshadowing the fact that you like the Killers.
Oh, there you go.
The band The Killers, whose lead singer is Brandon Flowers.
Was that his name? Did I get the first name right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know that because it's the same name as the
Yeah,
Killers.
that's right. I didn't realize that until now. I just put that together. But it was a double extra long, large. I got the wrong size. It hung down to my knees, and then I took it in and had it. I literally took it to a tailor, and I had it shortened, and then it looked even worse. Never got worn. Still hangs in the closet.
Wow.
And, I'm just not into jerseys anymore. Like, I'm not a big dude. Like, you guys that are like 6'6", and you got some pounds, and you can put that jersey on you, it kind of looked like you deserved it or earned that jersey.
Maybe played at some offensive line.
Yeah, I got a buddy, my buddy Casey. He can pull a jersey off. NBA jersey, NFL jersey, baseball jersey, doesn't matter. Dude's huge, 6'6", deuce and a half. Dude looks like he could rip your face off.
Now,
right?
here I have a strong opinion on this one.
But no, I'm a hard no. Don't put your name on the back of that jersey.
Okay.
Hard no.
I'm not. I will say that. Because I've been colored by the fact that I'm astounded by some of the choices people will make, like women, Kareem Hunt jersey. Come on now. Are you thinking? Are you thinking? And he's not even on the team now anymore. But the other part is, I don't think there is any more douchebag look than the basketball jersey.
Yeah.
As the regular one with a little T-shirt under it to a game or to anything.
Yeah,
You
no.
just look like a clown. A clown.
My favorite.
At least a baseball uniform, it hangs. And
Look, I'll wear the baseball.
That's meant. Who looks good in a wife beater? No one. That's what a basketball jersey is.
Yeah. Well, it's there's people wear these bro tanks around, You're not wearing you're not rocking the bro tank?
Oh, I have never I have never put anything with stirrups, I would call them, on my body.
Speaking of bro tanks, we got to talk about my Halloween costume.
Is it a bro tank? By the way, I don't know anything. I don't have, young children anymore.
Uh-huh.
Are people going to go
We don't know yet.
door to door? And
we don't have any idea. I mean, we've just been holding out. And worst case scenario, my kids are the age, we've only got a couple more years. I'm not losing a whole Halloween, right? So I'm going all out. I've never been the inflatable in the front yard. Like, I've always resisted it. And this year it's like we got this big ghost in the front yard and crap everywhere because I'm like, they're not going to be little kids that much longer, right? So I don't know what we're going to do. But I do have a costume.
All righty.
I'm going to be Kurt Russell.
Wow, nice. Now I like this.
From Big Trouble in Little China. I'm going to be Jack Burton. So it's a tank top tucked into jeans tucked into boots, and I got a mullet wig, this beautiful mullet wig, and like an airsoft Uzi. So it's going to be great. Anyway, but it's a bro tank with like an Asian thing on the front. What do you think of that?
I think it's a good Halloween costume. That's what I think, and that's what I think you look like if you're wearing it ordinarily. That it should be Halloween.
You got big Halloween plans over at the
No.
Chateau Clinkscale?
No, that would be shut off the lights. No, because we don't get enough. If we had like a steady stream of kids with costumes coming to the door through the
yell
years,
to get off your lawn,
then I'd be cool. I like that. But
okay.
We get 12 in a few hours, so then it's just annoying. And then 6 of them will be a 13-year-old with no costume.
yeah.
He's just gathering candy. I'm like,
he's just gathering candy.
Come on, man. No, my worst thing about Halloween, maybe this will close, maybe it won't. I hated Halloween parties when I was back in the day, when you were...
How far back in the day? Are you talking about college?
When you're looking to get lucky.
Okay, why? See,
the only good one...
I'm 100% opposite here. I got to hear why.
Because the only good costumes for ladies were what the girls who fancied themselves hot, and generally they were, and they would use this as an excuse to wear the Playboy bunny.
Yeah, next to nothing.
Or Catwoman, or whatever. It was a good
sexy nurse, sexy cop, sexy
that was all right, but there was only... And usually that's like, well, they're not going for me anyway. But there were too many people who were in costumes, so you couldn't tell what they looked like.
Oh.
So what was
You don't
that?
like that
No.
October surprise.
No, I did not. I'm like, well, this person, this thing seems to be pretty nice, but I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, see, I loved Halloween because, Danny, the best part about Halloween is you're stepping outside of yourself for a day, right? So it doesn't matter. All of those inhibitions that you had about maybe the whatever, right, with the gal that you never would think about hanging out with or whatever, you never know what you're going to get, right?
From that
Life is like a box of chocolates.
From that standpoint, I'm fine. But during that span of time when you're just trying to, maybe...
You're just finding your way.
No, just trying to get lucky, that's what I'm saying. It was like it was a wasted party.
No, it's the opposite because everybody's down to maybe this is a generational thing. I mean, maybe Halloween was different in the teens, in the 19-teens. But when I was in college,
was starting.
When I was in college, Halloween parties had this different special energy about them where everybody was just like it was a little bit elevated. You know what I mean? It was like if you're there and you're in costume, then you're bought in, right? You're bought in. Tonight's the night. It's All Hallows Eve. We're going crazy, right? Because the people who are the fuddy-duddies that didn't want to party but were just kind of hanging out in the corner, they're not coming out on Halloween. Or they're wearing like a sweatshirt that says, this is my Halloween costume. And it's like, get out of town on that. What are you talking? I was a pregnant nun one year, won second prize. Right?
Yeah, nice.
At my house party. I think it was probably
But a lot of times
people.
what I would, back then, they would say, it's going to be a costume party.
Yeah.
And like a third of the people would have a costume.
No, you would get, maybe it's just because I ran with a different crew than you did. You would get shamed out of the house if you showed up without a costume.
The other part was maybe I have this bitter memory of getting arrested because, a month after I went to a Halloween party where they had served some illicit brownies.
Okay.
Which I didn't like because they were slow working. I had put it in the jacket in the pocket of my jacket,
Okay.
and I didn't remember it was there, and then I got arrested with it in my pocket.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is this out east?
It's a longer story than that. No, it's not out east.
Oh, my goodness.
but-
See, that's not even hardly a ticket now.
You know, night in jail story. We'll save that one. How about
Ooh, I got a few of those next time.
that? You got a few of those? I just got one. I only have one, but it's a good one. It's a good one. So, Joe and Danny go to jail next time on Thirsty Thursdays, Sense and Nonsense.
We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Klink Scale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new. This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like
NoNonsenseHealthcareNinja.com, specializing in expert healthcare guidance and assistance for you.